state senator from Georgia on, where she listed how they say we need a blonde-haired, blue-eyed kid. The family wants it. They're going to pay $400,000 for it through these adoption agencies. So if we can catch Watson or others, and we know this goes on, Judge Jean Muir and whoever, getting money from these groups, we need to go ahead and go to the grand jury and call for indictments, because this is done all over the country. And I'm saying play hardball with these people. But let's talk about the bill. I keep digressing. Jerri Lynn Ward, I believe you were just speaking. So you're saying it looks like Watson's going to, not Kirk Watson, looks like Governor Perry's going to sign this?
Well, we don't know. What I'm saying is that we don't. I know of no one, or no one's contacted me to say that they've heard anything with respect with what he's going to do with this bill, which is pretty amazing to me, because the groups that have come out against this bill are essentially his core constituency. So I don't know what he's doing with respect to this. I mean, like Johanna said, this is a special interest bill. And it was.
Now, this is being pushed by the foster parent consortium.
Actually, interestingly enough, we've gotten word there's a bunch of foster parents groups that are actually against this bill.
Well, I mean, by that I meant the big adoption combine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, also Scott McCown, the former district judge who was the Robin Hood judge, he's probably one of the ones who wrote it. This was written by special interest groups who benefit from by feeding on the carcasses of destroyed families, who wrote this bill. And no parent advocate was given any input into this bill. So it's really a disgusting situation. I've heard that the Permanent Judicial Commission on Children, Youth, and Families supports this bill, and that's a piece of work in itself. What that is a commission where judges who hear these cases sit down with CPS and sit down with special interest groups that benefit from the destruction of these families and make policy.
That's right. They benefit because there's federal bounties, federal money to grab these kids. That's why they put 68% of them on drugs instantly, because then it's a special needs child, and these groups get even more money. So this is going to the governor's desk, and the way I read it then, you won't even be notified when they snatch your kid. I mean, they already do this a lot, and then tell them you get to see mommy if you tell us mommy touched you or hurt you.
Yeah, they usually have to have an emergency situation when they go to the school, which they can right now, and that's what we're trying to tell people. If there's really a kid out there that's black and blue and bleeding, you can still take them at that moment without a hearing, because you need to. This does not take that right away from the department in those cases. What this is a fishing expedition. This is, I wonder what's going on in that house. Do those people have perhaps guns, I wonder?
Well, let me tell you what already happened to my office. I mean, did you hear about the big case with the lady in Hayes County?
Yes.
And literally, they called the kids in. They would send them into the counselor. She was wearing shorts, saw a bruise down her leg, and they brought in the police, and they told her, don't tell your parents, made her take her pants off to look for more bruises. There weren't. And then they were going to go try to force their way into her house. But the issue is they literally have bounties. They have quotas, and it's just so monstrous. What type of stuff have you seen, Jerri Lynn Ward, and then, of course, also Joanna Scott, as you've been fighting this in Texas? I don't think the general public, till they get hit by these people, realizes just how serious this is.
Well, what I've seen has been based on research and getting to know some of the attorneys who fight this every day. And as Johanna said, one of the big problems is they're going to use this to force their way into people's houses, especially homeschoolers. And a lawyer who practices in this area much more extensively than I do told me of an instance where CPS went into a homeschooler's house where they actually have kids do chores instead of just go to the mall and sit on the couch watching TV. The 8-year-old daughter was washing dishes. The way that the CPS wrote the investigative report was that an 8-year-old child was playing with steak knives unsupervised.
No, absolutely. For those that don't know,
come into your house.
Yeah, for those that don't know, I have the official manual they gave Janet here in our office for her daughter, and it says if you raise your voice, that is abuse. We're going to take them. There's no law saying that. There's not even a law against spanking. You just can't do serious bodily harm. So they're creating all over the country. I notice all the groups fighting CPS are the homeschooler groups because they're hunting these kids. They hate it. They're winning all the spelling bees and getting all the big, awards and the scholarships. And the CPS handbooks behave as if these are cults. And they also call it slave labor to make your kids do chores. In fact, under the UN Charter of the Children, you're not supposed to be able to tell your kids take the trash out.
Well, Alex, what they hate is that family traditionally and religiously has certain authority. They want to take away that authority. They hate that these Christian homeschooling families consider the sovereignty of God to be before the authority of the state. They want to destroy families. They want to bring every aspect of our lives under government control. And this is how they do it. These attorneys who work in this system, who are part of the advocacy for taking children away, do not believe that parents should have authority over their children. This is what this is about. Yeah. And this is going to destroy families. It's going to destroy our entire nation because families have always been the backbone of liberty.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, have you seen the official textbooks that they have where it calls the family mentally ill and a disease?
I've read about that.
No, I mean, I have the textbooks. We scanned them and put them up at prisonplanet.com. People never believe it, and they go look at it and can't. That's what's taught at UT for social workers is that, quote, families belong to the age of barbarism and must be eradicated. And most of these CPS workers, if they're not pedophiles, they were abused as children, so they think they're punishing mommy and daddy. They're very mentally ill.
Well,
I'm not kidding.
I have seen that myself.
Yeah.
Hold on. This is Joanna. Scott, you're saying you've seen that.
I have actually watched as a very good people get into this field, and within 6 months, they have turned into the most vile and hateful people, and I don't know what does it to them. I don't know if it's what's being asked of them. They either decide to do it or they quit. But I have watched it myself, the transformation of a caseworker that comes in as a very good, well-meaning person that's turned into a person that just destroys families. And they have the biggest,
we'll stay there, they have the biggest turnover of any government job, 50% or more. And so all that gets left is just psychos.